That is also true. That's also true. All right,
All right.
we can hop into some more dating marriage.
So talking about healthy relationships, we can hop right into one that we've been talking about, and it kind of got to a conclusion. It's kind of still unraveling.
And it's still not the,
the aftermath of it. But Jonathan Majors,
the never-ending saga.
the never-ending saga, got convicted. And yeah, I wanted to talk about it.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. So I'm actually just gonna listen to the article, and instead of
listen to the article.
Yeah, because it's from NPR, so they kind of do like a little voiceover. So I figure we might as well listen to it and then move from there.
Oh, cool.
Jonathan Majors, the rising Hollywood star who you might remember as the Marvel character Kang the Conqueror, or from the movie Creed 3, was convicted today on 2 charges of assault and harassment of a former girlfriend. He had been charged with 4 counts, so this was a split verdict. NPR culture correspondent Anastasia Stiolkas was in the courtroom in Manhattan today. I do want to note that discussion of suicide is part of this case. Hey, Anastasia.
Hey there, Mary Louise.
What was the incident at issue?
So both sides agree there was an argument between Majors and his then girlfriend, Grace Jabari, in Manhattan back in March. They argued in a car after Jabari saw a text Majors received from another woman. And prosecutors said Jabari grabbed the actor's phone and Majors attacked her trying to get it back. He eventually jumped out of the car at an intersection, and there was video evidence at the trial that showed her trying to follow him. Majors then picked her up and shoved her back into the car, and then he took off running down the street and she chased after him.
And then things did not end there. What happened next?
Not at all. Later, he went to a hotel while Jabari, who testified that she didn't want to be alone after the attack, went out to a club. When Majors returned to his apartment, he allegedly found her unconscious and called 911 to report that she may have tried to commit.
So I'm going to stop there for a second. And so this is the interesting part, because I know if you read the headlines and if you read anything on social media right now, everything was guilty, 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 guilty. And they kind of playing on that guilty card very, very heavily, and kind of not highlighting the fact that one, there was a split. Like, he was not found guilty of the heavier charges. But I just wanted to recall some of the videos where we talked about, if you ever find yourself in this situation, I'll give him credit for 2 things. One, he tried to get away. And I think if you're ever in a situation, especially with a woman, where things can get physical in any way, and if you can get away or lock yourself up somewhere where you don't even have, because I know oftentimes people suggest, if you're arguing with a woman, you never put your hands on her, you can restrain her. Honestly, I think even restraining a woman, you can hurt her.
Yes.
Like, restraining a woman, you can potentially hurt
cause
her, cause a bruise,
and
something.
That could be more than enough.
So I think don't even try to restrain a woman. Like, literally just do what you did on the second part and run away. Because even in the part of the scuffle where you may try to restrain her because you maybe don't want to hit her or something like that, you could potentially harm her. And that's what he got found guilty of. So like I'm gonna let it keep playing, but
that's a crime though.
Because technically there was an element of assault. She did ended up getting hurt, but the hurting part was in the process of him taking away his phone from her. Like, he kind of hurt her finger, might have broke it or something, or jammed it. I don't know if it was broken or jammed or something, but it was something to do with a finger.
Yeah, because I know he had 4 charges, and then you said, he only got convicted of 2. So, but I don't know what the max, like well, not the max, but the time that he could go to jail for.
They're misdemeanors. They're misdemeanors. So he's probably not really going to do much jail time.
Pay like a fine.
Like, correct. Like, to him, this is going to be more of a
financial loss.
Possibly. And I got some thoughts on that, and as to like why Disney probably dropped him from Marvel too. I think this was something that they were like, this is a good opportunity for us to cut ties, but they might have already been in the plan of cutting ties anyways. They just made it easier for them.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, because now that's kind of. But what makes you think that Disney was taking that plan?
Because
we'll go back to this in a second.
Because just think about it right now. Like, he was in a couple of movies, and he was part of the Marvel universe, but the shit he was on, they weren't doing that great. They were losing money on. It was it Ant-Man, and there was like a show, but like it was one of those things where they weren't really making money.
I don't think it was Ant-Man that was on the show.
It was one of these movies. Like,
that's not
it wasn't a big movie. Like, I know, like, the movies he was in, it wasn't something that it seemed like, this is the direction the Marvel universe is going. And to be honest, Disney's been dropping a lot of money and losing a lot of money in a lot of the last few movies they've done with Marvel. So I think this just presented an opportunity to be like, oh, this is an easy way for us to cut part of that franchise that we probably didn't see going much anywhere. So it just gave them an easy opening. And it was like a layup for Disney to be, we can be in the right side of history by saying he got found guilty of some form of a charges. And so this is an easy way for them to say they were on the right side morally, that they don't support it, X, Y, Z, and then just cut ties.
But it's crazy. Like, this is a different company, you know. But then you see Amber Heard still is an Aquaman.
Yeah.
As opposed to like that. Yeah, a lot of the movie was already shot. I know it's a different company. I know all of that stuff. But it is a little crazy that her stuff was significantly worse than his, and she didn't lose much.
Yeah.
And
but there was also allegations. Who was the guy? The one of the guys with the arrows in the Marvel universe, the guy that plays it. There was some crazy allegations about him too, and they didn't cut ties there.
Oh, because they just put out a show for him.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be like the next guy, like one of the main characters in the next phase. I don't know the story, but I do remember who I can.
Like there was some crazy, but there was some crazy allegations. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I mean. Like to me, this was just a.
Can you actually pull that story?
Not even. I'll get it right after we listen to this one, just real quick. But I think that's what I'm saying. This was just an opportunity, like from an executive perspective, it was like, oh, this is a layup. This is a way for us to kind of look good in the process and cut ties in something that was going to bleed us some money that we didn't need to be spending anyways, or we shouldn't be spending anyways.
Yeah.
AD arrived, they found Jabari with cuts, bruises, and a broken finger. She was examined and cleared of mental health concerns, and then Majors was arrested.
So do you peep that? Like, this is important. He was the one who got arrested, even though he was the one who called the cops. So, like, this is one of those things is like, yo, you got to learn from these situations. And more you hear it, she left, went to a club, and he left. And he was like, oh, I don't want to be in a situation. I don't want to be around it. I'm moving away. When he got back home, she was passed out. And he did the right thing, which was, yo, let me call for help because I don't want to be perceived as if I hurt her. She might have been, something might have happened. He called the cops and the cops took him in this situation. And no moment like has the DA tried to charge her, even though she literally chased him down the street and visually assaulted him too. At no moment have they even tried to put charges on her. So by default, the system was like, I don't know if he's a man or not, or is it he's also a star? So it can be, let's make an example out of him, which can play a role too. I don't know. I'm saying like there can be like, you can put any kind of scenarios that can lead to any form of conspiracy. You can, like, I can go the route of,
you can find a debate for any of it.
Correct. Like I can go the route as big black man. You know what I mean? I can go the route he's kind of famous. Black man attacking a white woman. Like I can find any kind of political issue to say why they may be leaning on him heavily, and why not look at her as somebody who played a role and also being, because I don't think she was just somebody who received. She was also dishing it out in the middle of this whole thing.
Yeah.
I want to circle back to the detail I mentioned. He had been charged with 4 counts. He was convicted today on 2. Do we know why the verdict was split?
Sure. The charges he was found guilty of were assault and harassment, but the jury did not find him guilty on the charges of intentional assault and aggravated harassment. So essentially, they're saying they didn't believe he'd gone into the situation intending to hurt Jabari.
Huh. Okay, so what should we make of that, the split verdict?
Well, a split verdict is always a bit of a puzzle, right? In a statement, Major's lawyer said he was...
That's crazy. That like, it's really, it just says convicted, but it doesn't even say like exactly what it is. That if you don't do the 2 minutes of due diligence that we don't, it's probably not even 2 minutes that we've listened so far, that he got convicted of. Yeah, like it's like, yeah, he did do it, but it was unintentional. Like it was,
like he legit got convicted of, I try to push her off me and put her in the car.
And you're losing a lot because
correct. Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Like he's losing a lot. And at that moment, I can think where he thought, yo, I'm putting it out of the way and I'm running. Like at that moment, and it seems like even the jury might have perceived it that way. But in the process of doing so, yeah, he still hurt her. Which
I was just gonna say, the bad thing is that like in this particular case, like this stuff, all these things are really hurting him. but like there's also like a flip side of it where like there's also a lot of men that actually do abuse women, like really do them dirty, like really beat them up bad, so they deserve to get to
Yeah.
like prosecuted to a high extent, and they should face a certain
Well,
level
but that's
of
what I
law,
think
but like
but that's the intentionality piece, which in a way, like if I'm going from a perspective of fairness,
yeah.
I say that possibly based on whatever was presented in front of the jury and some of the stuff that we've seen, that seems like they were kind of fair. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
even though he didn't intend to hurt her, they didn't go with the heavy charges.
I
Because it was
think
like,
the unfair part isn't the law part of it; it's the him losing everything because of it.
correct. Yeah.
Like, which obviously we live in a world of like it's not like nothing is fair or whatever, but like that really like with all the jokes and everything, like I know we've talked about this a few times, like everything's been a joke, but like if we having a real honest conversation, like this genuinely sucks. Like you can lose. It's like what you spend your whole life working for, like building up to be this strong, powerful character and like actor or whatever, and then just to lose it like unintentionally type shit. Like,
Possibly. Even though I don't think he's lost everything. I think honestly,
it's gonna take him a while to clean this up.
I think he'll come back from it. Like the way I'm perceiving it, I think this could have went way worse. It could have went in a way worse direction. The fact that it was only a misdemeanor is almost a positive. Yeah, he's losing a few contracts on movie roles, and I'm not diminishing that. But luckily, he's not losing years of his life,
Yeah.
which could have been like the worst case scenario in this and under these circumstances.
But
So
I think that speaks about him, because there's a lot of other men that we've seen that beat the brakes off of women. Like when they were off of shit like that, like he literally was just trying to protect himself, get out of it. Like
Yeah.
he literally ran like 5 New York blocks from you, like no New York blocks long as shit. Like he really was like he didn't want no problems. Like he really is trying to do something.
and I'm gonna say the opposite too. Like a lot of this, I'm also gonna blame the media. Because even under these circumstances, the way the media took it and ran with it, like even this article is one of the ones that at least says a split verdict. You know what I mean?
This is
But
the
it's still
first article I've
convicted.
seen.
But normally most of them is found guilty or convicted. Like they're putting these words, and we know that we live in a society where we do not read past the title of an article, and we automatically make a judgment. And that's what I'm saying. I think Disney did some of that, but I think it was also opportunistic for them to do that.
So you think Disney saw the opportunity and was like, "Yo, let's just throw some."
Because they came out with
Sauce on it?
they legit had like a press release ready to go. So I think they were just waiting. It was like, oh, as soon as this comes out, if it's in any way positive, like he got convicted, put out the release that we're kind of cutting ties. I think they were prepping, they were ready for that. Yeah.
But you know what? That show. I'm sorry to keep interrupting it, but that goes to show why Disney's like it's not in the drain, but why they're losing so many subscribers to to their app, and why they're losing so much money. Their stocks are going down, and like it's the bullshit.
It's the wokeness, man. They're
Yeah.
leaning too much into wokeness.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is in the same realm. Go ahead, just play it. I'm not gonna get into that.
Both grateful and disappointed. And in this case, the jury had also heard quite a bit of evidence that the March incident was not the first time Majors may have tried to hurt Jabari. In a series of text messages between them from 2022, the couple discussed a prior conflict in which Jabari suffered head injuries. Majors threatened himself, writing, "I'm a monster, a horrible man, not capable of love." The jurors also heard an audio recording of a separate argument in which Majors told Jabari that she needed to be more supportive of him, like Coretta Scott King or Michelle Obama.
So, what happens now for Majors?
Well, most immediately, he'll be sentenced on February 6th, so then we'll know how much prison time he'll face. But the professional fallout has definitely begun. A whole movie from Marvel centering Kang was planned for 2026, but NPR has just confirmed Marvel is dropping the actor.
NPR's Anastasia Tsiolkas, thanks so much.
I ain't gonna lie. He might not have did nothing in the video that we saw, but whatever he would when he definitely did it when he was claiming that he was on. Damn, sorry, I messed up the algorithm. Whatever, but whatever when he was claiming that to her in the text, so he was like, "I'm gonna take myself out." Yeah, he did something that day. That's the only time I ever see dudes hit that. I ain't never hit that line.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
And this is what I'm saying. Like, yo, if you ever are in a relationship that it gets to the point that it gets to any form of physicality, yo, just get out. Like, you don't need, like, there's no form of love or appreciation that gets to the point of being physical in such a way. And like there just isn't. And I know there's people that are like, oh, this is how I want to know that you're passionate about me, whatever the case might be. No, like whether you hitting a woman hitting a man, neither way is right. And if it ever gets anywhere near that, that means that you guys shouldn't be together, period. Like it just puts you in a place where one of you was probably going to do something that you're definitely going to eventually regret, or it can be much worse. But yeah, man. But
well, I guess we'll see when February comes around, because we got to finish this topic through. I'm gonna be honest. We got to finish this story through. So, just stay updated with us. And when February rolls around and the verdict comes around, we'll let you know. We'll keep you guys updated with it.